When a movie transcends imagination and becomes an astonishing real-life event, that movie comes to life. For almost 3 years, 2 people were alone in an isolated snow-covered place. The temperature there was -40 degrees. And we all know that at 0 degrees water freezes and turns into ice. Just imagine a temperature 40 times below that. What kind of cold was there? There were other dangers as well, a deadly game with the aggressive polar bear. Certainly, pondering about these real events genuinely gives a sense of awe and invokes a shiver down the spine when considering it happened to someone. You are watching Unique Storytellers, and today's story, Against the Ice. The movie starts and we see a place surrounded by ice, and a person is driving his partner in a dog sled through a snow-covered expanse. This individual goes by the name Captain Ejner Mikkelsen. He is taking his ailing companion, his named Herman Jorgensen, in a sled towards their boat. The reason being, they were in a place called Greenland. Due to the biting cold there, his partner's feet had frozen. Actually, the incident occurred in the year of 1909. At that time, America asserted a claim. It is said that there is a lake between Greenland and Denmark, and America's claim is that exclusive rights over Greenland cannot solely belong to Denmark. The one side of that lake belongs to Denmark, while another side belongs to America. Since this lake remains frozen beneath ice throughout the year, it is impossible to determine from an external perspective which country actually holds jurisdiction over this area. To investigate this matter, a team of 6 members, including Captain Ejner, is sent to a location named Alabama. Even though the 6 individuals, including Captain Ejner, managed to get close to Greenland, upon arriving at the snow-covered location, Captain Ejner first takes one of his companions with him. Unfortunately, before they could achieve their goal, his companion falls ill and they have to return to the boat. Their initial journey turns out to be unsuccessful, but Captain Ejner is undeterred. He decides that to save Greenland he will go there once again. Even though the first attempt failed, he acknowledges that many before them had ventured there, and for some unknown reason they had disappeared without a trace, and until now, no one has found any clues about them. But he discovers that they left behind a diary and a map. With the help of these items, Captain decides to delve even deeper into Greenland to search for a stone monument. This monument, as indicated by the authentic evidence found in the diary and map, may reveal whether there is indeed a lake in that location or not. As Captain Ejner contemplated the mystery of the potential lake in Greenland and its ownership, he recognized the need for a companion in his quest. The looming dangers and high likelihood of mortality deterred the rest of his team from participating in the expedition. Undaunted, Captain found a willing companion for his second journey in a person named Ivar. Despite the palpable fear and the perilous nature of the undertaking, Ivar bravely agreed to join Captain on this hazardous adventure deep into the heart of Greenland. For Ivar, all of this was new. He had never been to Greenland before. Captain Ejner began their second journey with Ivar, and their companion was 2 sledges, surrounded by snow-covered landscapes, freezing cold, along with a temperature of -40 degrees. You can imagine how cold and unbearable it can be. They crossed the path bit by bit through the use of sleds, and when darkness fell, they had to take a break right there. In this way, 26 days pass. The surroundings are surrounded by ice, intolerable cold on all sides, and there are no signs of human or animal life. All of this was normal and familiar to Captain, and for Ivar, it was a new and thrilling experience. However, sometimes in human life, along with the good experiences, some unpleasant experiences are also created. Just like that, at one point, due to a mistake by Ivar, a dog falls into a ditch of the ice. Not only that, but in such inhospitable terrain, many essential supplies are also lost. Since the beginning of this expedition in Greenland, everything has been thrilling for him, but this time everything seems to have taken a slightly bitter turn, because he can understand that such a small mistake can bring such drastic changes to their lives, just like what happened with that dog. In this way, 48 days pass. It's a mountainous area with intense cold on top. Even to clean the dishes, water has to be obtained by breaking the ice in that place. This place is truly so cold and remote that even if someone comes here by sea, it's only possible from July to August, and the boat can operate for a limited time during that period. Because from August onward, the sea water completely transforms into ice. Moreover, until the next year's July, that ice doesn't melt into water. Using the map, they continue to traverse as many routes as possible, and the conditions ahead become increasingly complex. the amount of food they initially brought has significantly decreased. Now, with the reduced food supply, they must carefully ration what they have until they can achieve their goal. Until they fulfill their objective, they have to survive on the limited food available. Due to these circumstances, they cannot double their food intake, and for this reason they should not eat 2 meals, they should eat once a day. In practice, hunger can drive people to act violently towards animals. Even Ivar, who has been an animal lover for so long and never liked the idea of killing animals, he is now seen resorting to sacrificing one dog to feed the others. This demonstrates the harsh reality of survival in extreme conditions, where people might make difficult choices to ensure their own survival and that of those around them. As the days pass, they reach a point where 84 days have elapsed. Now, they have run out of any remaining food. They make a decision to change their course. Instead of using both sleds, they decide to use only one. Once again, the journey begins. After enduring immense difficulties and relentless exertion, they finally come across something. And it was a small mound made of stone. And this is the stone mound, in search of which Captain has come so far. There they find some food and a can left behind by previous explorers. Upon opening the can, Captain sees that there is a letter inside. The letter is dated August 8, 1909. They had written this letter, those who were the first to come to Greenland. At one point, their physical strength had suddenly decreased, and their ship was 580 miles away from their location, and they were not in a physical condition to return to the ship after covering such a distance. After not eating for so long, when Captain and Ivar got these foods, their joy knew no bounds. Being extremely weak themselves and facing a scarcity of food, Ivar tried to hunting a wild animal for survival. Just then he heard something behind him. He turns and sees that a massive bear has come to hunting for its own sustenance. A confrontation with such a massive creature seemed impossible for Captain. In that critical moment Ivar took action and fired a few shots. Following 2 or 3 rounds, the bear and Captain Ejner falls into the icy waters of the lake. Afterwards, Ivar pulls Captain out of the water. At that moment, Captain was somewhat injured. On one side, the chill was intense. Due to the scarcity of food and the bear's attack, all their dogs perished. Since they were still 200 miles away from reaching the boat, so, Captain burns all unnecessary and heavy things in the fire, even setting their sledge car on fire. So far, they have spent 164 days in Greenland. Arduous and challenging their arrival in this place was, the journey back turns out to be doubly formidable and terrifying than even that. Captain Ejner begins to fear that they may not reach the boat at all, as their bodies are not cooperating with them at all. He contemplates that at any moment, they might meet their demise right here. So, they construct a mound with stones at that location, and they place everything they have gathered, all the information, inside it. Subsequently, they had only one option: to reach the boat as quickly as possible. This was the only way to survival. They traverse additional paths with the help of a rope. After quite a bit of effort and perseverance, they finally reach the location named Alabama, where their ship was anchored. But upon arriving there, they see that in all directions, there is only a vast expanse covered with snow and ice. There is no sign of any human presence anywhere, not even their ship. After a little distance, they notice that a house has been built. At first, they speculate that perhaps their companions are inside that house. They might be the ones who built it. But none of them were there. They built that house there to save their lives, and stocked enough food for a year and leave from there. They return to Denmark and provide a detailed account to the government. However, Jorgensen, who had accompanied Captain for the first time to Greenland, he earnestly requests the government to send a team there to rescue Captain and Ivar. But the government is unwilling to incur any more expenses for this mission. As time passes, it stretches to 242 days. The government assumes that Captain and Ivar are no longer alive. Unable to find a suitable route to return, Captain Ejner and Ivar begin staying in that house in Alabama. This event deeply affects Ivar mentally. He loses self-confidence. Captain assures him that sooner or later, a team will definitely come to rescue them. In their solitude and battle against depression, they somehow manage to become friends, sharing both the joys and sorrows of life. They become friends with each other to escape their loneliness and boredom. The bond between them grows stronger as they navigate through the ups and downs of life together. They share their good and bad experiences of life with each other. Somehow they have to pass the time. But at one point, Captain decides that, since he and Ivar managed to come all the way to Alabama, they should go back to the rock dune again, where they left the evidence. Now the question arises, Why would they go back there? They have survived and returned from that place somehow. The answer is that at that time, they did not have confidence in themselves that they could traverse the same way back to Alabama. That's why they left the evidence there. Now, since they have managed to come back to Alabama, they believe they can go there again. They consider the possibility that the aggressive bears and snowstorms in that area might destroy the evidence. Due to these reasons, the evidence could be lost, which they have kept alive by playing with their lives. On day 439, they reached that place again, and they recovered the papers. On day 471, they bring the documents back with them to Alabama. In the meantime, the ice in Alabama has mostly melted. Upon returning there, they discover that a rescue team had been sent to retrieve them when they went to recover the evidence. Not finding them there, the rescue team went back again. They speculate that Captain and Ivor might have actually died. When they leave a note there, so that if anyone comes there, will see the note and understand that a rescue team had come looking for them. As a result of this incident, Captain Ejner and Ivor are emotionally shattered. On the other hand, Jorgensen once again appeals to the government that another rescue team should go there, to see if Captain and Ivor are really alive or they have indeed perished. But the government informs them that this was their final attempt, and since neither of them survived, no one else will be sent there. Even though Ivor and Captain were disheartened, they muster the courage within themselves, and in this way, 793 days pass. Captain seems to continue to drift away into another world. He begins to hallucinate, creating imaginary scenarios involving his lover. At one point, Captain Ejner completely loses his sanity. Living in these challenging conditions without any human contact for 30 months, and facing immense sadness and hardship, both of them experienced deteriorating mental health. One day, they see another scary bear trying to get into their shelter. The bear was also hungry and attempts to break the door from outside. However, using their cleverness once again, they manage to stay alive. After enduring for 865 days in this way, both of them have transformed, becoming more like the people of a different world. A few days later, Jorgensen along with some others, comes there to take them back. After fighting against a terrifying and challenging situation for more than 2 years, they finally become free. Captain Ejner Mikkelsen's dream comes true. He has succeeded in the most important and challenging quest of his life. The impossible task of bringing Greenland back from the hands of America becomes possible, thanks to Captain Ejner and Ivor. They are brought back to a healthy life once again. Finally, the two courageous heroes returning from Greenland are honored for their remarkable achievement. Along with success, Captain reunites with his beloved person once again. And the movie, which is based true story, concludes here. Thinking about it is truly astonishing that such an event happened in reality. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you found it interesting, share it with your friends. See you in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay well.